what's up? Okay, should I put my hood on? Anyway, so Wednesday night's message was really about, like, just letting God do whatever He wants in your life, like, knowing what His plan is and 100% trusting Him. And for some reason, that message really stuck with me. I really honestly wanted to make this video after that, like after the service, but I was really tired, so I didn't. It's currently Friday, so we're 2 days later. My dad buys these mini water bottles, and what is this? This is literally like one sip for me. I need to stay hydrated. Anyway, back to this. So, like I said, the message was really about just trusting God and like following Him wherever He's telling you to go. And I know that can be really scary sometimes, but you have to. Like, it's God's plan. You need to go after what His plan is for you. And one of the first things that He said was, you know in your heart the difference between a God dream and a regular dream. And that's 100% true. Like, whenever God puts something on your heart, it's on your mind 24/7. Like, it's all you can think about. You're always working towards that dream. And other dreams, you're just like, wow, yeah, that sounds cool. But you really truly know whenever it's a God dream, because He constantly puts it on your mind and in your heart, and you find that everything you do is about that or working towards that. And I think that's really important, especially for me right now, considering I had grammar. I had plans to go to a college down here, and then whenever I found out about the Bible college that I applied to, it's all I think about. Like, it's the only thing that I consider whenever I think about college or consider scholarships and stuff. So, like, to me, I know that a lot of people won't understand that, but to me, that is a God dream. Like, I feel like God has really put that on my heart and has made that a constant reminder in my life, just because He wants me to be there. And yeah, it was kind of hard explaining to everybody back home how I applied there and how it's a big step and a big change, and it disappointed some people, but the people that really supported me are still supporting me, and the ones that didn't, I know that they just weren't meant to be in this phase of my life, and like, that's 100% fine. Okay, so, which we're going to talk about that later. But so the first thing, I wrote little notes. By the way, this message was awesome. Like, my pastor is amazing. Yes, he preached his butt off. Oh, okay, so these are not all my words. Some of them are, but not all of them. He inspired a lot of them. So one of the things he says is the voice of God is your fertilizer for your faith. And like, whenever you're going through something, whenever you're like having a hard time, whether it's with school, with anxiety, depression, whatever it is, like, it's really easy to get out of the church scene. Like, it's really easy to like abandon your faith whenever you're going through all these hardships, because you're like, why would God put me through this? You know, why would He cause me this much pain and all this? So it's really easy to just like give up on your faith and really step back. And I think that that's the opposite of what we should do. I think that whenever we're in a hard season, like a rough season, that's when we need to really dive into our faith, dive into the Word, dive into prayer, and just all of that, because He's the voice of God. Hearing God's voice, having God speak to you and put something on your heart is the fertilizer of your faith. Like, I know that whenever God says something to me or He shows me something, I just automatically like want to be in church. If I'm not in church, then I want to be in church, because it just really, it sets a fire in me. And that's something that we say at our church, like, Jesus sets that fire in you and you're just want to go. But that's really what happens. It really just makes me want to learn more and go in more depth, like really have one-on-one time with God. And I think that's what we need to do in our rough seasons. I'm not saying that giving yourself to God and giving your problems to God is going to solve everything, because it's not. You still need to give all your trust to him, and I think that's really important, and that's something that a lot of us struggle with. Another thing is, which kind of goes into what I just said, hearing God's voice in the midst of a storm, whether it's, like I said, school, emotions, a breakup, a heartbreak, whatever, family issues, anything. Hearing God's voice in the midst of that makes you feel better, like, already. Because knowing that you have him in those difficult times, really, it makes you feel better. It makes you feel like that battle is not as difficult, because you know in the end that God will provide, and that he will give you what you need, and he will get you through it. And even if you have nobody else, even if you don't have friends, you don't have family, you don't have anybody that understands what you're going through, God does, and you always have God. That's why I always say that you're never alone. Like, I constantly remind myself that even if I feel so alone and so lonely, I know that I always have God with me, because he's always with you, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're going through. He will always be right there with you. My pastor used the words jump ship. You have to jump ship sometimes. Like, yeah, it's gonna suck, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna be scary, but you have to. Sometimes you just need to listen to God and abandon everything else, abandon all these people. Like, you just have to abandon everything and really go after God. And I know that especially in our day and age, in our generation, that is really hard, because whenever you do that, a lot of people are gonna sit there and judge you and think you're weird and all this other stuff, but you're not. Like, there is absolutely nothing wrong with giving your everything to God. People around you, like, aren't gonna understand what you're doing. They're not gonna understand why you're acting this way, why you're doing certain things, because they're just not getting the godly experience that you are. And that's okay, because not everybody does. You have to open your heart and open your mind to receive that godly experience, and some people just don't do that, whether it's because they don't want to, they're afraid to, there's a number of reasons why people don't do that, and those are the people that won't understand why you're doing the things you're doing. But as long as you understand, and as long as you know that you're following God, don't worry about what any of the other people are saying, because it's not important. Yeah, you're probably going to lose some people, but at the end of the day, God is doing what's best for you. If you're losing these people, then you're meant to. Not everybody is meant to stay through every season. Like, that's a really important thing too. Yeah, they were probably a big part of your life, and they were really important to you, but that's fine for that season. Sometimes you can't stick with these people through every season, because if you do, you're not gonna grow. It's gonna suck and it's gonna hurt, but God will not leave you alone. God will replace those people with the people that you're supposed to have in that season. So this next point really spoke to me and really reached out to me, because I kind of went into this on my first video about how I used to live in sin. I used to do so much, and I'm kind of going to go more in depth with that a little bit, not too much. A year or so ago, I was partying, I was drinking, I was doing a lot of things that I know that I shouldn't have been doing, and at that point in my life, I was like, wow, these are like 100% the best days of my life. Like, this is going to be what I look back on and miss. The best days of your life isn't whenever you're out partying or whenever you're getting drunk, running around with your friends. Like, yeah, that's fun, but you don't know the best days of your life until you start following God. When you start following God, you are going to realize that those are the best days of your life. You did not know what true happiness and true fun is until you start following God. And that's honestly what happened to me. Like, now, I don't want anything to do with parties or any of that. And I'm not putting down on those that do. Like, y'all have fun. Like, y'all do y'all. I don't want to go back to where I was, because I know that He's bringing me farther in life. And I know that I needed to stop doing all the things I was doing in order to find Him. As long as I still have God, I'm fine, because I know that following God is the best time of my life, and I know that I'll never regret going follow God and miss out on all the parties. Like, there's never going to be a point in my life that I'm going to look back and be like, wow, I wish that I wouldn't have found God and would have stayed partying for my senior year. Like, no, I don't want to. I will never do that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not going with your friends to a party. Like, just be like, no, we can hang out later. Cool. And this is, okay. So, like I said earlier about jumping ship, quote unquote, and following God, it's scary. It is really scary. You could mess up, you could fail, you can do all these things, but the most important thing to remember is that it's okay if you fail. It's okay if you mess up, because God will save you. God will rescue you. God will not let you sink. Oh, He will save you again. Like, God will give you as many chances as you need. He will not give up on you as long as you don't give up on Him. That's a really big thing. That was it for like my God talk. I just thought that message was really good, and I just felt like I needed to share that with y'all, whoever's watching. I felt like somebody out there needed to hear that message, whether it's today, tomorrow, a year from now. Somebody needs to hear that message. And I just thought it was really important to make that video. So my next little portion of this will be, so I wanted to film last night too, but once again, I was tired. So it's my senior year. It's a lot of my close friends' senior years. And senior year is the last thing. Like, it's after senior year, it's over. There's no going back. There's no turning back. It's over. And one of what's really been on my mind is fixing or reaching out to people that either I've done wrong, have wronged me, we just fell apart, whatever it is. Just reaching out to that person and telling them that you still care for them and you still pray for them and that you wish them the best. And I did that recently with one of my close friends, and we've been best friends for a while, and I'm actually going to tell her to come watch this video because I'm like talking about her. But we've been close friends for a while. I basically lived with her for a little bit, and we just, people grow apart, and that's okay. It's totally okay to grow apart from your best friend. Yeah, it hurts and it sucks, but it's life. Like, it's gonna happen. And we ended things on bad terms, and that was that we both had a part in that. And for the past 2 or 3 weeks or so, God's really just put on my heart to reach out to her and to speak to her. So I did the other day, and it was so simple. Like, all I did was say, hey, I just wanted to let you know that you were a big part of my life, and I still love you, and I still pray about you, and I truly wish you the best, and all this other stuff. And now, like, I feel like a big weight is lifted off my shoulder. I don't want to have grudges against people. I don't want to have any hard feelings against people. And I don't want anybody to have any hard feelings about me. Like, we all have our toxic qualities. We all have our toxic traits. So whenever something goes wrong, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, or whatever, try not to put all the blame on one person. Like, try to think back to things you might have done wrong, ways you might have hurt them, ways you might have abused their trust. Like, whatever it is, it's not always 100% one person's fault. Like, you have a role in it too. So I try to reach out to a lot of people and just let them know that if I ever hurt them, that I'm sorry, and that if they ever hurt me, that I forgive them and I love them and I still care for them, because that's such an important thing. If you're holding on, this is such a big thing. I did this for so long. I really held on to a lot of pain and a lot of hurt that somebody caused me, and it negatively affected my life. I was always upset. I was always sad. I was always angry. That's not how I want to live. I don't want to go around being angry with somebody always afraid that I'm gonna run into them or whatever. Like, no. I used to be a very hateful person. I used to be a very negative person. But God has just really taught me that you're not supposed to sit there and hold grudges and be angry with people and have hate for people, because that's not how it is. That's not what you're supposed to do. So I encourage you that if you have any person in your life that you have a broken relationship with, if y'all stopped being friends, broke up, if you did them wrong, if they did you wrong, whatever it is, I really encourage you to reach out to that person. I promise when you do that and when you let go of that pain, you will feel so much better. You'll feel really like a new person. You'll have a weight lifted off your shoulder. I have been so positive since I have forgiven every person that has done me wrong. And that's really just so important, because your happiness comes first. Sometimes you have to forgive people even if they're not sorry. If they don't apologize, that does not mean that you can't forgive them. Because sometimes people don't realize that they do things wrong, just like we don't. I just think it's really important to forgive people because, like I said, it will negatively impact your life. It will affect your mood, it'll affect the way you treat other people, and that's just not how you're supposed to live. Because the fact is, a lot of people don't realize that they do something wrong. A lot of people won't apologize. It's just a pride thing, you know? And if you sit there and wait for them to apologize, then you're going to be angry and you're going to be upset for a really long time. And that's not mentally good. It's not emotionally good. It's not healthy. So, like I said, I encourage you to forgive, reach out, do whatever you need to do to anybody, really, like any broken relationship. I just encourage you to do that, and I think that it's really important. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, got something out of this video. You know, I really felt like I needed to make this video. Like I said, I think somebody needed to hear it, whether it was the part about God or the part about reaching out to people that have done you wrong. I feel like somebody really needed to hear this video. Thank you to all of my 12 subscribers. Shout out to y'all. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever.